Well, here we go. I guess this is the first ever live stream that I'm doing. Um, yeah, I probably should take off my camera so that y'all can see me. Yeah, you know what? It's fine. You can always re-put this back up. Hello, hello. Ooh, that is not good quality. Not good quality at all. How is everybody doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen? So, I would just kind of like to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I know this is scuffed. We will get better lighting and everything like that for the next one, but I thought I would just tell you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Logan. I am 22 years old. I am originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I've moved around a lot, and I am currently up in Chicago, Illinois. And I am a film major, so it's kind of crazy actually to see where my life has gone, and I'm kind of proud of it, to be quite honest with you. I really like just being able to tell people that I moved like halfway across the country to go to school because it's terrifying. And I guess that's maybe where we could start. Maybe that's a fun little story I could do right now where, I just kind of tell you guys about my moving up freshman year experience. So, for those of you that don't know, I go to DePaul University, and I remember being so excited because it was one of my first choices for my like school and stuff. And so every single time I would be just, refreshing the email page, just constantly being like, oh my gosh, like, where's the acceptance letter? Where's the acceptance letter? I I couldn't find it. So a couple weeks go by, and like DePaul was one of the last people that actually like gave me my like letter of acceptance or whatever it's called. And it was really like I freaked out. I think I ran around my house. I probably cried because, as you guys will get to know me a little bit more, I am incredibly sentimental. I am probably one of the sappiest bitches you'll ever meet, and that's kind of okay. I kind of like that about myself. I'll cry in any Disney movie, but I'm getting off topic. So after I had gotten accepted, there was kind of some steps to take with, finding on-campus housing. And for any, young girls or guys or they, thems, anyone in between who really like has no idea where to start with Facebook, always go to start with going to Facebook, going to your admitted, uh, like the admitted students page, because every single incoming freshman is going to be dumped onto that page. And that's kind of where you start to connect in terms of room and board, especially if you don't know anyone who's going to your university. You you really want to be able to form those connections as much as possible through the online medium, you know, with Facebook and with Twitter, Instagram, with oh gosh, what's another good platform? Like WhatsApp, I guess. But yeah, it. I found two really really sweet girls, and one of them originally I was like really really planning on moving in with because she was a theater major, I was a film major. It made sense. We were both in these super creative industries, so I felt like we would vibe really really well. And for the most part, that year we definitely vibed. I mean, it was really really exciting. It was really really fun just to be able to kind of see the way my my life played out, and it was kind of exciting just to like be able to find a way for the, I don't know, like the way that college works. Like it was fun getting into that experience. One of the things that I was not a big fan of, however, was the whole idea of having to actually buy things for my dorm. See, because as the time got closer and closer to me actually going up for college, the more and more nervous I got. Because, like I said, I come from a town where, everyone goes about 1.5, 2 hours away from everyone. And, you know, that, that was kind of the norm. It was kind of the way that everyone everyone did college or was, doing their life. Because the trajectory for most people from my hometown was that you you went to the high school that everyone went to, especially in that circle, you just kind of went there. And then you would go to a university that was 1.5, 2 hours away. That way you could come home on weekends, you could still see family, which was it was pretty cool. Um, definitely didn't know all the bits and bobs about it, but one of the things that I just found really fascinating about it was that I was able to, break away from that. And it's something that I'm still incredibly proud of to this day because a lot of my friends, they moved to they moved to these cities, but they're still coming back every year. And I I just I didn't want to do that. I knew that there was a world out there because I have traveled, and maybe I'll talk about this in another live. But I was really, really, really inspired to just go and live my best life in a place where I felt at home and I felt like I could make my own home because my family's moved around a lot. Maybe I'll talk about some of the places that I've lived in another stream, but uh, I never really had a place to call my own because it was always my parents' decision to move, and I really really wanted that feeling of like there needs to be a city out there for me that I can call home. Thankfully, Chicago became that city, and so kind of but going back to what I was saying, doesn't negate the fact that I was incredibly nervous for this kind of new chapter in my life because I felt like it was something that I had never really experienced before. And it was something that was new and foreign to me. Even though I had been, on trips abroad and internationally, it was just still so surreal to be in this position where I I myself just felt so so alone. And one of the things that I was really struggling with was the whole idea of being so far away from my family because my family is like the most important thing to me. And I remember, so we had gotten all this stuff, and since my mom and dad had slightly smaller cars, they couldn't fit all of it. So I remember them renting a minivan, I think the day before we moved up. And I distinctly remember waking up that morning, the morning that we were supposed to drive from my hometown to Chicago. And it was going to be a long drive. It was going to be a very, 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 very long drive. And I remember waking up that morning and I felt ill. I felt really, really ill. This was, I think, late August 2018 that it was. And I woke up feeling super ill. So I don't think it was coronavirus or anything like that. But I remember, coming down to my mom being like, hey, I don't feel so good. She like took my temperature and I had a fever and we had to go up that day. And it was a really, really scary feeling because I had never felt that sort of, I don't know like how to describe it, but like I was, I had given myself something called a stress fever. And it was because I was so freaked out the night before about, making this big, big move in my life that I physically made myself ill. But through like, you know, copious amounts of Dayquil, NyQuil, I was fully able to just be be myself. And I recovered a little bit. I still felt a little bit shaky, but I think that was mostly related to nerves looking back on it. But it was, it was a good experience. It was something that I think I needed to do for the sake of myself. Um, I think another huge thing that people don't realize about college is that you're kind of thrown into it from the jump. And for anyone who's like in high school or who happens to stumble across this, um, or any of my other things, like I really hope that you can take this away because it was it's scary, but it's also exciting because from the moment you're thrown into it, like it's like go, 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 and you don't really have all that much time to take a breather, which I think honestly is a really really good thing because every single person who's at college is in the same boat that you are, which is really 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 comforting. It's something that I think a lot of people don't really understand, or especially people in high school who like haven't come to terms with this. um you're not the only one going through this. No matter if someone came from like 45 minutes away, 13 hours away, you're both going through this because it's your first time kind of living alone. It's your first time being in a position where everyone's doing this same thing together. And in a way, it's kind of beautiful, to be quite honest with you. And I remember my freshman year super fondly. Like, I had made some really fun friends. We would all go to the dining hall. We would all kind of make fun of the student centered food, but different story, different day. Um, but it was a really really fun experience, and it was a really fun way for everyone to just feel like they belonged. And picking your classes out was always a fun thing because even as a freshman, you get gen eds and stuff, but then you get like every other freshman who's doing gen eds, and usually like especially with me being a film major, I had to do like a very basic math class. So I saw all these other like film kids and theater kids just all doing their sort of thing, and it felt really comforting to know that everyone was just in this same boat like I was, and it was really sweet. It was a really sweet experience, and I just think that you know college doesn't get, especially that first year, it doesn't get talked about enough. And I think a lot of people tend to kind of feel like they have to do everything all at once. I feel like that's freshman year in a nutshell. You're in this new environment, you're amongst new people, you're taking new classes, you're living alone for the first time. And I think I think one of the things that I came to the revelation of, that I think they don't tell you about when you go up, is just how mentally and emotionally like exhausted you feel. Like the reason why you get I would say longer breaks in college is because of the mental toll that some of this stuff takes on you. I mean, like first year, I could definitely testify to this. Like you are telling yourself when you wake up. You are telling yourself when you go to class. You're telling yourself, you know, how how much how much homework am I doing tonight? You're telling yourself, am I going to this party that's 15 minutes away that starts at 9 tonight? Am I am I am I eating today? What if yes, what am I eating? And I think that that's kind of a huge thing too. Like a lot of people don't figure that out. And some people don't figure that out. Some people just refuse to figure that out. And it's okay. It's okay to feel like you don't always have to make those decisions. I remember so vividly, there would be some like weekends and stuff where I would just pass out and I'd wake up at like 12 or 1 and I would continue on with my day. But like, you needed those days as freshmen because, Monday through Friday, you are planning. You're planning everything that you have to do, every aspect of your life, which is in such stark contrast to, someone's senior year or someone's, the summer of senior year, for example, because it feels so foreign and it feels so strange. But I will probably end up doing maybe a part 2 about this. I am getting a little tired. I know that this wasn't too long of a stream, but maybe I'll try to do like a VOD channel or something like that. It's going to be very scuffed for the time being, but if anyone wants to, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe to my channel. This is a very new channel, so I don't expect a lot of people in here now. But if you do want to, I would be very, very appreciative of it. And yeah, hopefully you guys can find my channel. And you guys have a fantastic night.